Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of connection ritual. Over the last 12 weeks, we have not only launched, it's actually been about 14 weeks, we've not only launched Marriage Boot Camp, we launched the actual 2-day event back in May, it's been about 5 months. So we launched this program called Marriage Boot Camp. It's a 2-day live event. But as we began to launch this, one of the things that often came up was couples felt disconnected. They felt disconnected in their marriage and they felt disconnected with their spouse. And not only that, there was no practical way for them to reconnect every single night. And being that this show is all about habits, tonight or today, whenever you're listening to this, I want to roll out how to actually create a connection ritual, because connection is what actually leads to communication. And if we're not connected, chances are we're going to be disconnected in our communication also. And this is what starts everyone down the path of, not being sexually active. Not only that, but maybe this starts the process of disconnection in the 5 areas of our relationship. Disconnected as parents, disconnected in communication, disconnected in sex and intimacy, disconnected in co-creating, and disconnected spiritually. And this actually is the first place that couples often disconnect, which is in communication and feeling connected. But this week, I wanted to actually talk about a connection ritual. And the reason why is this. If you're a couple, married couple, and if you're going on date night every single week, that's great. And that's like stage 1. If you're doing, these daily messages or daily deposits, things that we often talked about, or daily investments into your spouse, that's great. But at the same time, there has to be some type of face-to-face communication, face-to-face connection for this to actually work. And so today, I really want to talk about this connection ritual, because this is one of the things that we've been teaching our couples inside of Marriage Boot Camp that's made and making a huge difference in their marriage. Now, what is the connection ritual? It's a way where you and your spouse connect every single day. And whether you're married or not, have a girlfriend or not, this will apply to you and kids. This will apply to you and maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend, however this is. But this especially will apply to couples who are married or about to be married. But me and my wife have been teaching this to several couples in Marriage Boot Camp as a way for our couples inside the program to connect on a day-to-day basis, because this was one of the things that they wanted to do consistently inside of this habit-based marriage, this habit-based lifestyle, is creating some type of habit that they could feel connected to their spouse every single day. And what we found, not only with ourselves, but so many couples, they get disconnected by Wednesday, by Thursday, by Friday. And then this date night becomes about all of the stuff going on, all of the stuff that maybe we didn't show up and do throughout the week, instead of actually being connected and feeling like we're together. But we find couples aren't making connection and communication a habit in their relationship. And sometimes there may be one side to this where someone's needs are getting met, and sometimes the other person's aren't, or neither side's needs are getting met. But listen, there's so many things today that we're trying to do more than ever. We're managing jobs. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, you're managing being parents, shuttling kids around, from making dinners, making lunches, to chores, to just keeping up with everything else. One of the biggest areas we begin to neglect is this connection. And we're just trying to manage it all and do the best that we can. And the reason why this matters is if your connection with your spouse is off, everything else will suffer. Everything else inside of your relationship, everything else inside of these 5 categories we talk about will suffer. And even what I found in a lot of marriages is when connection is off, the business often suffers, even if the husband tends to work longer hours, because now he's actually having to work more hours to make more money because he's avoiding actually coming home. And one of the biggest lessons you could learn about connection and communication is they're like fuel to keep our relationship burning. And so imagine if that fuel begins to burn out, what actually happens is our connection and communication tends to go there too. Now think about it. If you're connected with your spouse, you're on the same page with communication and with connection, you feel so much powerful when you show up to work. You feel so much powerful when you show up to home. You feel so much powerful when you get done working out. And this is one of the main reasons we do this for couples that get disconnected through the week, is we want to make sure that they're making time for each other instead of being tired or instead of putting it off and for another day. Now think about how often, just in the last year, you may have felt disconnected from your spouse. And this is what happens. It's one day you feel disconnected. One day you feel like you're not communicating. That turns into 2, turns into a week. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks goes by, a month goes by, and it's like you're living as roommates. So I want to point out and paint out the simple rules to how this connection ritual works so you can actually begin to apply this into your life. One of the easiest ways to do this is just to start with 5 minutes every single night. Now, one of the things that I've realized is it has to be after dinner, it has to be after dishes are done, it has to be after kids are bathed, and it has to be after the kids are in bed, because they'll tend to wake up or they'll tend to get in the way of this. But just start with 5 simple minutes. If needed, put your kids to bed 10 to 15 minutes earlier than normal. Find a comfortable space in your home. It could be, a special couch. It could be a special room. But environment is super important for this, because if you're looking around at all the stuff you got to clean up, if you have laundry out or other things, you're going to be focused on that instead of actually sitting down in this quiet place. Make sure it's relaxing, and make sure you are open to conversation, not only hearing it, but being heard at the same time. One of the things that's really important is starting this out is just making eye contact for 60 seconds with your spouse and breathing. One reason why is when we begin to make eye contact with our spouse, our energy begins to say more than any words that we have. And so this actually begins to get you guys on the same energetic level and just give each other space. You're going to talk specifically about one win that you had from the day. So today or tonight, I may go home and say, hey, Katie, here's my one win from today. It was to actually do a podcast on this connection ritual, because I feel really passionate about talking about it and not only teaching it to our couples, but teaching it to people that listen to this show. The other thing is this, to ask your spouse about their day and how they're doing. Much different than what's wrong with you, which is oftentimes the barbarian way we communicate with our spouse, is asking them what's wrong with them. Well, when we come from that place, what are we saying? There's something wrong with my spouse. She needs it fixed, or they need it fixed, or he needs it fixed, which automatically puts us on what's wrong with me, I'm defensive, and all these other things. And so ask your spouse how their day was and how they are actually doing personally. And I would find a lot of men asking their wives how they're doing. Wives don't get asked how they're doing very much, other than maybe by some other girlfriends, but very rarely how they're doing. And I don't mean how they're doing on the surface, how they're doing, deep down, and just giving them the space to do that without trying to solve a problem. So this is the beginning of this connection ritual. I can't tell you how important this is to do every single day. But if you want to find out more about how to do this, and many other of the the habits we have inside a habit-based marriage, we actually have a 14-day marriage upgrade that's going to be launching on the 12th of October. In the show notes, there'll be a link to the website where you can actually go in and sign up for this, but it's a 14-day upgrade of your marriage, and it's a way for you to take your marriage to the next level. And it doesn't matter where you're at, if you're completely disconnected, this is a great way to become reconnected. If you are connected, it's a great way to take your marriage to the next level. So if you want to find out more about that, check the show notes. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. Maybe you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle. Feel free to reach out to me, Jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com. If you find that you are getting something from this episode and you want to leave us a review, we love 5-star reviews and we thank you for them. Until next episode, have a great day.